In this video, we're going to go over the history of the Sega Dreamcast and how it was a vital part of the gaming console wars.
In the game wars where billions of dollars are at stake.
Sega has set the stage for a revolution in console gaming.
They put out the Dreamcast way before any of these next generation systems came out.
Twice the speed of a TV, 60 frames a second.
Graphics, speed, and pure unadulterated gameplay.
What does Dreamcast have that Sony's PlayStation don't? You'll be able to play online.
Some of the best games of the last generation, or even this one.
By simply plugging in your phone line, you can put the power of mass communication at your hands.
Email, chat, and an unbelievable amount of content.
Dreamcast will bring in more in one day than even the hit movie Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
We're out of stock. We're out of stock. We have to have more hardware. People are banging down our doors.
Dreamcast is the most powerful games console in the world's history.
It's thinking. In 1997, with mounting financial losses nearing $1 billion and the failing Sega Saturn console weighing heavily on their shoulders, Sega knew they needed to make a bold move to stay relevant in the competitive gaming market. The company's next console would either cement their legacy or mark the end of their hardware division. What followed was one of the most innovative yet tragically short-lived gaming consoles ever created. The development of the Dreamcast began with an unprecedented approach. Sega established two competing engineering teams to design their next-generation system. In Japan, longtime Sega hardware designer Hideki Sato led the internal team working on a project codenamed White Belt and later Dural. Meanwhile, in America, IBM alumnus Tatsuo Yamamoto headed an external 11-person skunkworks team developing the Black Belt variant. Both teams were tasked with creating a system that would avoid the Saturn's complex and expensive architecture while delivering cutting-edge performance. Sato's Japanese team opted for a Hitachi SH4 CPU paired with NEC's PowerVR2 graphics processor, while Yamamoto's group chose a 3DFX Voodoo chipset and Motorola PowerPC processor. The competition ended dramatically when 3DFX's IPO filing publicly revealed their involvement with Sega, angering executives who then severed ties with the American chip maker. Sato's design was selected and codenamed Katana in February 1998, later becoming the Sega Dreamcast when officially announced in May. The final Dreamcast hardware specifications were impressive for the time. The system featured a 200 MHz Hitachi SH4 CPU capable of 360 million instructions per second and 1.4 gigaflops paired with NEC's PowerVR2 GPU running at 100 MHz. It included 16 megabytes of main RAM, 8 megabytes of video RAM, and 2 megabytes of audio RAM. The system could output approximately 17 million colors and display resolutions up to 640 by 480 in both interlaced and progressive scan formats. The Dreamcast also introduced the proprietary GD RAM format, developed with Yamaha, which could hold up to 1 gigabyte of data while being cheaper to manufacture than DVD-ROM drives. Sega made the Dreamcast the first console to include a built-in modem for online gaming. This forward-thinking feature came at the insistence of Bernie Stolar, who had to fight internal resistance over the additional $15 manufacturing cost per unit.
We believe the future of gaming is the internet, and the Sega Dreamcast provides internet connectivity, a 56K built-in modem, email, chat, and an unbelievable amount of content.
The initial Japanese and European models shipped with a 33.6 kilobits per second modem, while later revisions and the North American version included a faster 56 kilobits per second model. To make online gaming more accessible, Sega even offered a year of free internet access to Japanese consumers, personally funded by Sega chairman Isao Okawa. The Dreamcast controller represented a refinement of the Saturn 3D pad design, featuring an analog stick, D-pad, 4 face buttons, 2 analog triggers, and slots for memory cards or other peripherals. The controller's ergonomic design allowed for comfortable extended play sessions. A unique feature was the VMU window on the front that could display game information through the transparent viewing port. The controller's analog components utilized Hall effect sensors, which required less calibration and resulted in fewer issues with joystick drift compared to other controllers of the era. The visual memory unit itself was a revolutionary accessory that went far beyond simple storage. The VMU featured a monochrome LCD screen, audio output, a D-pad, and 4 buttons, allowing it to function as a miniature gaming device. Players could use it to manage their inventory, call plays in NFL 2K, or raise virtual pets in games like Sonic Adventure. The VMU could even be connected to certain Sega arcade machines to transfer data or unlock content. When it came time to name the system, Sega considered over 5,000 different options before settling on Dreamcast, a portmanteau of Dream and Broadcast that emphasized the console's expanded connectivity features. The system's distinctive swirl logo and orange power light, chosen because orange was considered lucky in Japan, became iconic elements of its design. The clean white and gray plastic housing represented a deliberate departure from Sega's previous consoles, aiming for a more approachable mass-market appeal. The Dreamcast made its debut in Japan on November 27, 1998, priced at 29,000 yen, approximately $240. Despite strong pre-orders, manufacturing problems at NEC limited the initial shipment to only 150,000 units, which sold out immediately. However, the launch lineup was criticized for its weak selection, with only Virtua Fighter 3 TB generating significant sales among the 4 available titles. The delayed release of Sonic Adventure until December 23 hurt initial momentum, though the game would eventually help drive holiday sales. To combat slow sales in Japan, Sega launched a clever marketing campaign featuring company managing director Hidekazu Yukawa. The self-deprecating commercials showed Yukawa getting into various unfortunate situations while trying to make the console successful. The ads resonated with Japanese audiences and made Yukawa a minor celebrity, even leading to him personally selling consoles on the streets of Akihabara alongside President Shoichiro Irimajiri. Sega's Western launches would prove far more successful. In North America, Sega of America's new president Peter Moore orchestrated an ambitious marketing campaign centered around the date September 9, 1999, and a $199 price point. The iconic It's Thinking television commercials, created by Foot, Cone, and Belding, built anticipation through mysterious 15-second spots that emphasized the system's artificial intelligence and processing power. The campaign expanded to include cinema advertising through a partnership with Pepsi, product placement in popular media, and a comprehensive celebrity seeding program. The North American launch on September 9, 1999, was nothing short of historic. Sega sold more than 225,132 Dreamcast units in the first 24 hours, generating $98.4 million in combined hardware and software sales. This set a new entertainment industry record, surpassing even the opening day box office of Star Wars Episode I, The Phantom Menace. The launch lineup of 18 titles was incredibly strong, featuring groundbreaking games like Soul Calibur, NFL 2K, and Sonic Adventure. Major retailers like Electronics Boutique reported their highest single-day sales in company history. The European launch followed on October 14, 1999, priced at £200. While the launch was delayed slightly to ensure online gaming functionality would work across Europe, it proved another success for Sega. The system sold 100,000 units on day one, with 42,000 of those being pre-orders. By Christmas, Sega of Europe had moved 500,000 units, 6 months ahead of their projections. The European marketing campaign included sponsorship of major football clubs like Arsenal, Saint-Étienne, Sampdoria, and Deportivo de La Coruña.
You will play me head-to-head online through your Dreamcast, as you say. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough.
Dreamcast, play online.
Early Dreamcast adopters were treated to an incredible variety of innovative games that pushed the boundaries of what consoles could do. Soul Calibur demonstrated the system's graphical prowess with arcade-perfect visuals that many considered superior to the original arcade version. NFL 2K established a new standard for sports gaming presentation and commentary. Meanwhile, Sonic Adventure successfully brought Sega's mascot into full 3D with fast-paced action and impressive production values. As 1999 drew to a close, Sega held 31% of the North American video game market share. The Dreamcast had sold 1.5 million units in North America alone and seemed poised to restore Sega to its former glory. However, looming on the horizon was Sony's PlayStation 2.
There are waiting lists and tickets just to stand in line and get a chance to buy PlayStation 2. That is PlayStation 2, the hottest game to hit the market.
This took longer than the Dreamcast, so I'm expecting it to look even better than that.
I'm here
for the PlayStation 2. The best entertainment system to hit the world. It's going to be great.
On March 2nd, 1999, Sony revealed the first details of their next console, with Ken Kutaragi promising unprecedented emotional expression through the system's Emotion Engine CPU. The announcement would begin to cast a long shadow over Sega's dreams of success. As the new millennium dawned, early signs of trouble began to emerge for Sega's ambitious console. US Dreamcast sales started declining as early as January 2000, despite the system's strong launch and growing library of innovative titles. Sony's marketing machine had begun hyping the PlayStation 2's capabilities, claiming the system could render between 7.5 to 16 million polygons per second, dwarfing the Dreamcast's estimated 3 to 6 million polygon performance. One of the most significant successes for the Dreamcast was Sonic Adventure, which marked the Blue Hedgehog's triumphant return in his first true 3D outing. Released as a launch title, Yuji Naka and Sonic Team had begun development during the Saturn era, but moved the project to more powerful Dreamcast hardware to realize their vision. The game featured 6 playable characters experiencing the story from different perspectives, from Sonic's high-speed platforming to Knuckles' treasure hunting. Stage designs like Speed Highway and the iconic Orca chase sequence demonstrated the Dreamcast's graphical capabilities while maintaining the series' signature speed. With 2.5 million copies sold worldwide, Sonic Adventure became the Dreamcast's best-selling title. The absence of Electronic Arts proved to be a significant blow to Sega's prospects. During negotiations, EA President Larry Probst demanded exclusive rights to develop sports titles for the platform, a request Bernie Stolar couldn't accept due to Sega's recent $10 million acquisition of Visual Concepts. Though Visual Concepts' NFL 2K and NBA 2K series received widespread critical acclaim, with NFL 2K1 introducing groundbreaking online multiplayer before EA's Madden series, the lack of established franchises made some consumers hesitant. During this period, Sega restructured its development teams into 9 semi-autonomous studios, leading to what many consider the company's most creative period. United Game Artists, led by Tetsuya Mizuguchi, brought unprecedented style to the platform. Their rhythm game Space Channel 5 featured a retro-futuristic aesthetic and innovative gameplay starring space reporter Ulala. The studio's most ambitious project, Rez, merged electronic music with rail shooter gameplay in an attempt to create synesthesia, a mingling of senses that created a transcendent gaming experience. Hitmaker demonstrated their arcade expertise with games like Crazy Taxi, which sold over 1 million copies by combining open-world driving with frantic arcade action. Their sports title Virtua Tennis revitalized its genre with accessible yet deep gameplay. The studio even created Sega Gaga, a quirky RPG where players worked to prevent Sega from going out of business, a somewhat prophetic release given future events. Smilebit pushed creative boundaries with Jet Set Radio, featuring rebellious inline skaters tagging a futuristic Tokyo. The game popularized cel-shaded graphics and featured a groundbreaking soundtrack by Hideki Naganuma that mixed samples from Tokyo's underground music scene. The studio's canceled project Gun Valkyrie would later find life on Microsoft's Xbox. AM2, led by Yu Suzuki, created the Dreamcast's most ambitious title, Shenmue. The game featured unprecedented detail, with a fully realized Japanese town, NPCs following individual schedules, and variable weather effects. While the reported $50 million budget made profitability impossible given the console's install base, the game influenced many aspects of modern open-world game design. Sonic Adventure 2 arrived on June 19, 2001, as one of the system's final major releases. The game refined its predecessor's formula while introducing new characters like Shadow the Hedgehog. Its darker tone and improved graphics showcased how far developers had pushed the hardware in just 2 years. The game's split storyline between hero and dark campaigns demonstrated Sonic Team's ambition to evolve the franchise, though its release came too late to save the platform. As 2000 progressed, Sega's financial outlook turned bleak. By June, the company was losing approximately 2,000 yen on every Dreamcast sold in Japan. The launch of SegaNet in September 2000, priced at $21.95 monthly, attempted to leverage the console's online capabilities, Sega offered aggressive promotions, including a $200 rebate for 2-year subscriptions and a price drop to $149 to compete with the PS2's $299 launch price. The PlayStation 2's successful launches in Japan and North America, combined with Microsoft's impending Xbox announcement, painted a grim picture for Sega's future in hardware. By September 2000, Peter Moore and Charles Belfield prepared their Manifesto of the Future, arguing for Sega's transition to third-party software development. The controversial presentation caused Japanese studio heads to walk out in protest. Widespread piracy further complicated matters, as the Dreamcast's GD-RAM format had been compromised to allow games to run from standard CDs. While this increased hardware sales, software revenue suffered significantly. The Dreamcast needed to sell 5 million US units by the end of 2000 to remain viable. They achieved only 3 million. On January 31, 2001, Sega announced the cessation of Dreamcast production after March 31st. The remaining inventory was cleared out at prices as low as $49.95. The final manufactured unit received signatures from all 9 studio heads, plus leaders from Visual Concepts and Wavemaster, symbolically ending Sega's 18-year console manufacturing era. The Dreamcast's total worldwide sales of 9.13 million units fell short of expectations, but its influence extended far beyond these numbers. Games like Seaman, featuring Leonard Nimoy's narration and voice recognition technology, demonstrated the platform's capacity for innovation. Titles like Rez, Jet Set Radio, and Phantasy Star Online established design principles and online gaming concepts that would influence the industry for years to come. The discontinuation of the Dreamcast in 2001 marked not the end, but the beginning of a remarkable afterlife for Sega's innovative console. Japanese developers continued supporting the platform long after its official discontinuation, leveraging the system's close relationship with Sega's Naomi arcade hardware to deliver cutting-edge experiences. Throughout the early 2000s, developers discovered creative ways to utilize every aspect of the Dreamcast's extensive peripheral lineup. The fishing controller, originally designed for Sega bass fishing, found unexpected new life in games like Soul Calibur, where players could translate real-world motions into in-game sword strikes. The Samba de Amigo Maracas controller pioneered motion controls years before they became standard, while the Twin Sticks peripheral for Virtual On Oratorio Tangram offered unprecedented control precision. Racing enthusiasts had access to multiple wheel options from both first and third-party manufacturers. Mad Catz's Dream Racing Wheel and Agetech's Racing Controller both featured force feedback, enhancing games like Metropolis Street Racer and Ferrari F355 Challenge. For fighting game enthusiasts, the official arcade stick used the same Sanwa microswitch assemblies found in commercial arcade machines, while the ASCII Dreamcast fighting pad offered a more compact 6-button alternative. The Dreamcast's groundbreaking online capabilities were supported through several networking options. While Japanese and European models launched with 33.6 kilobits per second modems, US models and later Japanese revisions featured faster 56 kilobits per second capabilities. The broadband adapter came in 2 variants, the common HIT 400 supporting both 10 and 100 megabit speeds, and the rarer HIT 300 limited to 10 megabit connections. Japan received several exclusive peripherals that never made it westward. The DreamEye camera enabled video chat and image sharing through the system's internet capabilities. The karaoke unit allowed players to sing along with their favorite songs, while the train controller for Densha to Go provided an authentic simulation experience. Third-party manufacturers expanded the console's capabilities with various memory card options. The Performance 4X memory card offered 4 times the storage of a standard VMU through sector switching, while Nexus produced more affordable basic storage options. As official support wound down, the Homebrew community began to flourish. The Dreamcast's ability to boot games from standard CDR media, initially seen as a weakness that enabled piracy, became a strength that allowed independent developers to create and distribute new games without expensive development hardware. Between 2014 and 2023, the Dreamcast saw a steady stream of new commercial releases. Publishers like Retro Sumus and Wave Game Studios continued producing physical games, maintaining the high production values of the console's commercial era. Notable releases included Xenocider, a rail shooter inspired by Space Harrier, and Intrepid Izzy, a modern take on 16-bit style platformers. The preservation of online gaming has become a key focus of the Dreamcast community. When Sega shut down the official servers, dedicated fans developed private alternatives to keep games like Phantasy Star Online playable. As of 2023, enthusiasts have restored online functionality for 26 different Dreamcast titles, ensuring these pioneering multiplayer experiences aren't lost to time. The system's GD-RAM format presented unique preservation challenges. With drives beginning to fail after decades of use, the community developed several solutions. The GD-EMU, an optical drive emulator, allowed games to be loaded from SD cards while maintaining full compatibility with the console's hardware. This innovation not only preserved games but improved loading times and system reliability. The collecting scene has evolved into distinct tiers of rarity and desirability. Standard hardware remains relatively affordable, with working consoles available for under $100. However, special editions command premium prices, particularly the Gundam RX-78 model from Japan. The Sega Sports Black model, while less expensive, has become increasingly sought after for its aesthetic appeal. Peripheral prices vary dramatically based on functionality and completeness. A complete Dreamcast fishing rod with box and spine card can sell for over $200, while loose units go for a fraction of that price. The official arcade stick, once readily available, now regularly fetches $150 to $300 depending on condition. The holy grail for many collectors remains a complete Samba de Amigo set with working maracas and sensors, which can command prices exceeding $500. The platform's influence continues to resonate in modern gaming. Nintendo's Wii Remote drew direct inspiration from the Dreamcast fishing controller's motion sensing capabilities. The original Xbox borrowed several ideas from the Dreamcast, from its built-in modem for online play to the controller's familiar button layout and triggers. Even modern cloud gaming services echo SegaNet's ambitious vision of connected console gaming. As the Dreamcast approaches its 25th anniversary, it remains Sega's most ambitious console, bold, ahead of its time, and tragically short-lived. What could have been if the PlayStation 2 launched a bit later? What could have been if the Xbox hadn't arrived to fill the void it left behind? What could have been if the Dreamcast had endured? Instead of leading the next generation, Sega faded from the console market, pivoting to a future no one could have predicted. A quarter-century later, the Dreamcast stands as both a what-if and a what-was, an enduring symbol of innovation that arrived too soon, introducing features before the industry was truly ready to embrace them. Thanks for joining me on this trip through the history of this legendary console. If there is any interesting gaming phenomena you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss more videos like this one.